Good evening and welcome to LawSikho's thorough newspaper analysis for the 3rd of May 2023. So today we have one editorial article which has been taken from the Hindu and is titled A Good Divorce. For the second and the third segment of today, we will have the news update and the legal news update for the day. Now, in our editorial article of A Good Divorce, it talks about the Supreme Court order in the case of Shilpa Sailesh versus Varun Srinivasan. Now, in this recent case, the Supreme Court decided to lean on the guiding spirit of Article 142, Subclause 1 of the Indian Constitution. Now, this said provision talks about the apex court, which, while exercising its jurisdiction, can pass an order or a decree that shall further the cause of complete justice. Now, such decree or order shall be enforceable throughout India as if it were a law made by Parliament. Now, under the guiding spirit of this provision, the apex court held through its constitution bench that it could use its discretionary powers to grant mutual divorces to couples in bitter marriages. Now, the question that arises is why is this judgment so important? So, the judgment aims to spare the agony and misery of waiting 6 to 18 months for a local court to come forward and annul a marriage. The Supreme Court can now grant divorce on the grounds of irretrievable breakdown of marriage if the separation is inevitable and the damage that has been done to the marriage is irreparable. Now, if we talk about the Hindu Marriage Act of 1955, we see that divorce is defined under Section 13 of the respective statute. So, among the grounds that are laid down for divorce, we see there is cruelty, desertion, then conversion of one of the spouse's religion and faith. We also have adultery, which was introduced by the Marriage Laws Amendment Act of 1976. We have insanity, leprosy, renunciation, venereal disease, and a presumption of death of one of the partners, all as possible grounds of marriage. However, mere irretrievable breakdown of marriage is not considered to be a sufficient ground or sufficient cause enough for a divorce. However, while the Supreme Court did go forward and recognize that sometimes there may be marriages where separation is inevitable and the damage is irreparable, it also laid down certain considerations that have to be taken for the future. Firstly, the Supreme Court held that even through this judgment, the the breakdown of marriage or a divorce as a phenomenon due to irretrievable breakdown of marriage would not become a matter of right but would be a discretion that is to be exercised by the court with great care. Further, while basing its order on such a marriage, factors need to be considered by a court such as duration of marriage, period of litigation, the time that the couple has stayed apart, and the nature of pending cases and attempts at reconciliation, if any, that have been made. So, with this, we move on to the news update segment for today. Firstly, we have Devendra Fadnavis unveils Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj statue in Mauritius. Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis unveiled a statue of Chhatrapati Shivaji at Mauritius. He also signed a memorandum of understanding to promote trade between Maharashtra and Mauritius. The memorandum of understanding was signed between Economic Development Board of Mauritius and Maharashtra Industrial Development Corporation. Secondly, India has come up as the largest supplier of refined fuels for Europe. Now, a recent analytics report from Kepler suggests that India has become the largest supplier of refined fuels to Europe. India has also become a record buyer of crude oil from Russia. Now, the reliance on India for refined fuels by the Europe is mainly because Europe has gone forward and imposed sanctions on Russia. One of these sanctions also include ban on importing Russian crude oil. So this is looked upon as an economic sanction that is made upon Russia due to its ongoing war with Ukraine. So because India has been buying a lot of crude oil from Russia, now it has become one of the largest buyers of crude oil from Russia. India has a lot of crude oil, and hence India is now exporting the refined fuels to Europe, cannot buy, uh, which cannot buy Russian oil. Next up, we have sailor Abhilash Tomy creates history, finishes second in Premier Global Race. Commander Abhilash Tomy, retired, created history as the first Indian to compete Golden Globe race, finishing in the second place after the grueling 236 days alone at sea in his sailboat named Bayanat, in a journey of grit and endurance. South African sailor Kirsten Neuschafer also scripted her name into maritime history, becoming the first woman to win the Golden Globe race, GGR, a solo non-stop circumnavigation of the globe without using any modern technological aids, recreating the 1960s on the high seas. Next up, we have Sharad Pawar steps down as the NCP chief. Sharad Pawar, the founder of the Nationalist Congress Party and its chief from 1999, has announced that he will no longer remain as the NCP chief and shall step down from his current position. He has also announced that he shall no longer be contesting the elections either. The 82-year-old veteran is widely accredited as the architect of Mahavikas Aghadi, an unlikely coalition between NCP, Indian National Congress, and Shiv Sena, who are the ideological opposites of the NCP themselves. Next up, we have the DRDO and the Indian Navy conduct successful trial of indigenous air droppable container. Now, the DRDO, that is the Defense Research and Development Organization, and the Indian Navy conducted a successful trial of an air droppable container with a 150 kg payload capability. Now, this will especially be helpful in locomotion activities as well as supply chains because the ships that are in the middle of the sea will no longer have to, sail back all the way to the coast in order to refill themselves. The trial was conducted to enhance the naval operation and logistics capabilities. Three DRDO laboratories, Naval Science and Technological Laboratory based out of Visakhapatnam, Aerial Delivery Research and Development Establishment or ADRDE, which is based out of Agra, and Aeronautical Development Establishment of Bangalore, has been involved in the development of this particular container. Next up, we have India inks first defense pact with Caribbean nation. For the first time, India has included a Caribbean nation, the Dominican Republic, into the ITEC defense scheme. Under the scheme, the armed forces personnel of that country will get trained at various military training institutes in the country. The two sides have also agreed to deepen cooperation in cutting edge sectors such as space exploration, satellite data management, artificial intelligence, biotechnologies, information and communication technologies, amongst others. In the international news segment, we have NASA has successfully found oxygen from the lunar soil. NASA scientists at Johnson Space Center in Houston have successfully extracted oxygen from simulated lunar soil in a vacuum environment, which could pave the way for establishing long-term presence of humans on the lunar surface and even for the future colonization of the moon. NASA's carbothermal reduction demonstration, or the CARD researchers, used a high powered laser to simulate heat from a solar energy concentrator and melted the lunar soil simulant with a carbothermal reactor developed by Sierra Space Corps. Next up, we have the World Tuna Day. The World Tuna Day is observed on May 2nd every year to raise awareness about the importance of tuna fish and promote sustainable fishing practices. Tuna is now not only a valuable source of protein and nutrients for millions of people around the world, the same is also a major supporter of local economies since tuna fishing and processing provides employment to thousands of individuals, especially in the Pacific Islands. That is why in December 2016, the United Nations General Assembly voted to officially observe the World Tuna Day. Next up, we have the World Asthma Day that is held or observed on the first Tuesday of every May. World Asthma Day is organized by the Global Initiative for Asthma, or GINA, which is a World Health Organization collaborative organization founded in 1993. World Asthma Day is held each May to raise awareness of asthma worldwide, and the day aims to increase the understanding that we have about pathophysiology of the disease and promote asthma education. The theme for the 2023 is Asthma Care for All. In the legal update segment, we have firstly, Supreme Court stays HC orders striking down Chhattisgarh law, providing 58% reservation in jobs and admissions. In a major relief to the Chhattisgarh government, the Supreme Court of India stated the Chhattisgarh HC's order declaring the state government's move of giving 58% reservation as unconstitutional. And this was done in the case of Yogesh Kumar Thakur versus Guru Ghasidas Sahitya Avam Sanskriti Academy and others. Secondly, we have no priority for workers' dues after liquidation of company under the IBC. So as we know, in the in the provisions laid down of Section 326 and Section 327 of the Companies Act 2013, certain payments get priority when a company is being wound up. Now, these payments can be in the form of workmen's dues and revenues, taxes, cesses, and rates due from the company to the central government or the state government or to any local authority. However, Section 327, subsection 7, as per the 2016 amendment of the Companies Act, states that such prioritizing of certain payments shall not be applicable in the event the company is going through a liquidation process under the Indian Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code of 2016, which meant that the workmen's dues and the government dues will not get priority when the company undergoes liquidation as per IBC. This was held in the case of Moserwear Karmachari Union through its president Mahesh Chand Sharma versus Union of India. So this was all for today. For free study materials and TNA PDF slides, please join our Telegram channel, the link of which you can find in the description, or you can always scan the barcode that is given on your screen. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay updated with the thorough newspaper analysis which we roll out every day. Thank you.